Previously on Story Hoard.
Children of the God of Shadows, have at it. If it's the vessel, if we can break it, then maybe we can release whatever hold it has on this space. Smudge sees a sword coming at its ass and rightfully retaliates. You hear a second voice.
Good work, horse.
Mateo, you are gripped by this wraith's cold, rigid hands as its face opens up, draining the life force out of you. Rami looks up as a different look overtakes his face. Something much angrier and much more dangerous than I think any of you have ever seen. Rami still has half a turn left to go, and having raced in from the outside, staring down the center of the temple as far as he can into the darkness where Umberta and her lackey have disappeared, he shifts his attention to the wraith that's still hovering uncomfortably close to you, Sildra and Mateo. He narrows his eyes at it before casting Divine Favor on himself. Your prayer empowers you with Divine Radiance until the spell ends. Your weapon attacks deal an extra 1d4 radiant damage on a hit. He's staring at this wraith and takes a deep breath in through his nose while holding on to the prayer beads at his hip. You see the wind pick up around him, and you get a faint whiff of freshly baked bread and a warm summer breeze. And when he opens his eyes, you can see a light amber glow coming from them. And he is going to be boosted thanks to the God of Harvest. I named you and I forgot what I named you.
Grace?
I know!
Now you need to pronounce it. This is your fate.
I fully know. Yeah. Rami is imbued with the power of Imbued with the power of Trophimeria, the God of Harvest.
That was great. That was beautiful, Grace.
Thanks, Maddie. Rami is boosted. Rami is pissed. With that being his bonus action, then his full action will be taking his quarterstaff and bringing it down on top of the wraith in front of him, who is looking at it. Well, wraith doesn't really have a face, but the wraith is prepared to take on this new threat of very, very angry farm boy. Let's see, and that is... Oh, hell yeah! Hell yeah! Ooh. Rami rolls 15, which does hit this wraith in front of him. He narrows his eyes at this spectral creature, and with a golden glow, he brings his quarterstaff down on top of this creature, smacking it into the chandelier crash on the floor behind it. It screams an unearthly wail as the staff burns through its shoulder, leaving it singed. Rami is silent. And it is now goon number 3's turn. The goon specifically that was near you, Mamori, and Mother Umberta in the shadows. Mamori, from where you're standing, you can hear kind of like shaky breathing and the rustle of crunching debris underfoot. And I am going to roll with advantage on this. It's a 10 with advantage. And for, I think it's maybe the third time now, Mamori, with all the noise going on around you, you managed to position yourself in a way that you can feel the wind rush past you as someone tries to blindly charge at you. And misses. You hear from the shadows a scoff from Mother Umberta going, "Come now, Hubert, this really is just embarrassing. Do us all a favor and just get the hell out of this temple at this point. You're clearly of no use to the God of Shadows, or myself. For crying out loud, you can't hit a blind woman in a temple of your own darkness.
Hey, Grace, I do have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is Hubert stepping away from me?
Yeah, this guy is prime for an opportunity attack. You can feel that.
Well, anyways, I'm gonna use the longsword. Sorry, dude. It's gonna be. Listen, we've dealt with these people for long enough, and if I can do this using my sword in a humane way, so as not to murder, because we just learned how to do that.
The
So,
butt
like,
of your sword.
not with deadly force. Yeah, exactly. Using the butt of the sword. So, Grace, I don't know. I'm just gonna roll to hit.
Yep.
And then is it plus anything?
With
Plus strength,
advantage,
dexterity.
I believe.
Oh, am I rolling with it? Oh,
For
shoot.
an attack
I
of
don't know if this is
opportunity, I
gonna get any
believe.
better than that. Sure. Well, the first roll was a 19. The second roll was a 19. So,
Oh,
Hubert's getting hit.
Someone got.
he got. Yeah, he got. I mean, let her rip with the butt of your sword.
Sorry about this, Hubert. Weirdly, I pity you for having to deal with such a bad boss. Yeah, sorry. And then I'm rolling a D8 plus 3. So it's a 2 plus a 3, so that's a 5 damage.
Cool. You clock this guy, Momori, with the butt of your sword as he stumbles past you, and you kind of reflexively whip around and catch what feels like him in the square of his back, as you hear him fall and clatter, creating an even bigger noise nearby.
Sorry.
For the glory of Mother! Ow!
Just put some ice on it when you get home, all right? It'll be okay.
Next in the order is Smudge. Still outside. Still kind of,
You're giving the horse a turn.
Well, not only does Smudge have a turn, Smudge does... It feels like a waste not to play with Smudge's action of hooves.
Yes. Yes.
I
approve.
Smudge, for your turn. She was kind of off eating some grass, but seeing the ruckus going on, I think she'll make her way closer towards these dead minions. Dying, I should say.
Lord over them as they die?
Well...
Any grass over here? That's good.
Munch.
Yum, red grass. My favorite.
Oh, it's got a little bit of that seasoning, that steak sauce. Not bad. Not bad at all.
How's A1? Oh, Lord.
His horse is messed up.
Well, listen. If Smudge is going to have a turn,
The Secret Life of Smudge.
The serial killer?
I feel
I
like
was thinking like The Secret Life of Pets.
No. Yeah, Smudge comes over and Smudge is now investigating the cart. Should any other wayward goons try try anything.
Smudge is just like fishing for an apple out of one of the bags.
Smudge is now investigating one of the fallen, sniffing for treats, lipping at like limp hand.
Oh god. It's carnivorous.
Mateo, it's your turn.
Right. So Mateo's still just like lying on the ground.
Yeah, you are prone.
Like,
you will have to get yourself up.
He's like been kind of aware of what's going on since Sildra healed him, but mostly he's just like disoriented and trying to like figure out what's going on here. And as he's like kind of trying to stagger to his feet here, it's almost like he feels more resistance in the air around him in a way that at first makes him feel dizzy. And like around him there's like this chandelier is like there's bits and bobs.
Mm-hmm.
Not everything's attached, right? It's
Yeah.
broken.
Yeah.
And like as he's like looking around and like getting his bearings, and things start to like shift into like a blurry view to like a clear view. Like as he is feeling this resistance in the air, he is moving his fingers and he sees that one of the like chandelier sconces on the floor, it sort of rolls around, and only when he moves his hand. And it feels like there's a vibration on the air connecting this sconce to him and his actions. And he's just watching this, and he looks up at this wraith that Rami is now in front of. The wraith that is, like, being pierced by the chandelier. And he flicks his hand, like, flexes on this vibration on the air. And he casts Catapult, and this sconce is going to fly towards that wraith. What should I do for this? It is literally right there. I don't care about range. So it flies in a straight line towards in a direction I choose, stopping early if it impacts against a solid guy or surface. So the wraith has to do a dexterity saving throw, please.
Okay. That is a 14.
Okay, so the wraith wins. So basically, this sconce just like crashes, like nearby the wraith.
The wraith turns to see this object fly by it, sees the thing fly out into the darkness, and hears the crash. Is it obvious that it's coming from you, Mateo, or just that it came from the ground and was flung?
I don't think it would be obvious at all.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like imagining this like Mateo is feeling like the air currents, almost like strings on a guitar, let's say, where there's like vibration and like an A to B.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think this wraith would connect the dots here.
Yeah, definitely has its attention ripped from staring at Rami to following the path of this thrown object and kind of looking around, a little bit bewildered at whatever that might have been. Rami also shakes his head on a swivel, staff at the ready, looking for whatever the hell sent that thing flying.
Calm down.
Is there another thing in here?
No, that was me. I probably.
What? What do you mean?
I'm trying something new. I don't know. I just woke up.
Are you okay, Mateo?
Sure. He's just like kind of like looking around, and like his fingers are like moving really weird.
Cool. Mamori, you're up.
Hey, Sildra,
Yeah.
where are you guys at right now? I can't see anything. None of you are in the like close to the back, right?
We're by the entrance. Where are you?
All right, perfect. In the dark. Don't worry about it. Mamori pulls out Nugget. Mamori is using the iron head of the Nugget, the metal head.
Yeah.
And Mamori is just gonna swing a large radius around her.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, okay, now that we're doing like actual feat things,
Yeah. How much give is on Nugget's chain, do you think?
into 20, so like 15 feet maybe?
I'll give you 15 feet.
Yay! All right, let's do this. This could go so wrong. Please, a 19. Oh god.
Yeah?
Ah. Well, I'm glad I checked where my companions were. That's a 6. That's a wild 6.
Yeah, that's a wild 6, and considering that you're just kind of like throwing blindly...
This didn't go as well as I'd hoped.
No, I didn't want to double check someone here. Yeah, that doesn't hit anyone. Mamori, you swing Nugget around in a blind circle, and it makes impact, it sounds like, with parts of this broken chandelier. And on the return, as you draw Nugget back to you, you kick up some of this shattered metal and glass debris, and you are going to take a little bit of kickback damage from that.
Sure.
Uh.
Understandable.
Take 4 damage, Mamori.
Oh, that's... You hear, like, glass clinking and Momori cursing under her breath.
Yeah, you definitely got, like, scratched up. Had stuff, like, kicking at your shins as you pulled Nugget back to you.
Alright. Well, that's all I got. I'm gonna stay in this darkness.
From the dark, you can hear the hushed bickers back and forth as Vantus is just giving Umberta a hard time with this whole situation.
So tell me, was the pin worth it? You've got, 3 down goons, you lost a shade, you have a wraith on the ropes, and what exactly to show for all of this, Oh, high priestess of the Shadow Temple.
And again, you hear that smack of parasol against the nearest hard surface as Umberta says, "We're not turning back at this point." Next up in the order is Harold, who's currently being, like, pickpocketed by Smudge. Harold needs to roll a death save. They're one save, 1 fail, and...
Grace?
Oh!
Did you kill Harold, Grace?
You know, I don't know if I killed Harold, but he did roll an
Harold's
one.
Oopsie.
I feel terrible. I feel so bad for this once nameless cultist, but now I gave him a name, and I do feel bad for him.
That's the one the horse killed, right?
That's the one the horse killed. The one who is currently being sniffed and rifled through by said horse.
No.
And as Smudge gives a curious snuffle over this broken man's form, there is a last gasp and gurgle as the man goes still, as Smudge continues to lip at this fallen person's hair.
I'm
I
speechless.
don't even know what to say.
Very
Smudge
cool. Very
killed a
cool.
man.
He was killed by a horse. And Sildra also hurt this guy, but like...
Not like this.
Mostly the horse, I think.
Yeah. I'm so sorry, Harold.
You know what? We'll say a prayer for him, and well, not a prayer, but we'll say a few kind words, and lay him to rest at the end of this battle, maybe.
He'll be... I don't know if he'll be fondly remembered, but he is officially out of the turn order.
Yeah, he'll be remembered.
Send Umberta a fruit basket or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it is now Ralph's turn as well to roll.
All right.
And Ralph has, I think, 1 save to his name. He has 1 fail and 1 save now.
This is it, I guess, for Ralph too.
He's struggling. Ralph is, equally wheezing. He's wheezing, trying to hold on to the last wisps of life, as again, his crumpled form is sitting behind your wagon. But yeah, he's got 1 save, 1 fail. And Harold is dead.
Both of them?
No.
No.
Harold's gone.
Harold is gone, Ralph is still here.
Yeah.
They're dead. Oh, okay.
Grace is just really, really hung up about Harold dying. She had a whole plan for him.
I should not have named them. That's on me. I can't name nameless goons lest this happened. And I get genuinely sad over it.
Grace is gonna come back next week and be like, these are Harold's sisters. This is where he went to school. This is where he first met Mother Umberta. This is his tragic backstory. The love he never reunited with.
10 episodes from now is just this one random person starts attacking us and we're like, whoa, who are you? And they're like, I'm Harold's daughter.
Oh my god. Sildra, it's your turn.
I'm still in shock a bit that our horse killed someone. Okay. Sildra. So they know where the head honcho lady is.
You do,
Still.
yeah. You have eyes on her in the back of the temple.
Grace, for my own reference as someone who would totally know where she
Mm-hmm.
Is she like around here or closer?
Take it a few steps to the left and you'll be within range.
Cool. Awesome. Perfect. Thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and run on up to here
Mm-hmm.
and then chuck a firebolt at her.
Ooh.
Does a 13 hit?
13 does not hit. You chuck that
Dang.
firebolt through into the darkness as she manages to duck herself out of the way as the fireball goes careening behind her. But that fireball does catch fire to a large hanging black curtain covering one of the windows of this space. And with that fire, the curtain goes up in flames and light comes to pour in, revealing Mother Umberta's location, burning through the magical darkness.
Woo.
She looks up, head spinning, as Vanda says,
Hey kid! I like your aim. Do you need a god?
I'm kind of in between gods right now and not looking for a new one.
We can keep it casual. It's, it's low commitment, just, you got some cool shadow magic out of it. Have you ever wanted to go invisible?
Look, I'm sure you're a very good god. I'm just not looking for one right now.
Well, if you know anybody who isn't this old hag who's, interested in reviving the God of Shadows to its once grandiose form, state of being, standing in the larger divine pantheon, please hook me up.
it's Rami's turn. He is still single-mindedly staring down the wraith, not prepared to just let up or redirect attentions. So he once again is going to channel that divine favor as his bonus action prior to swinging again with his quarterstaff as he's trying to lay into the wraith that's being held up and against the fallen chandelier. Is that going to hit? Survey says that does not hit. Rami goes to take a second swipe at this wraith, and this time the wraith is able to scramble backwards as his quarterstaff goes crashing through another part of the chandelier, and he curses under his breath as he's trying to just chase this thing down, trying and failing at this point. Stay down. Just stay down. Do this. At which point it is now the wraith's turn to respond in kind. The specter staring back at Rami and seeing the very, very close call it just had with his magically enchanted quarterstaff, chooses to skirt past both him and Mateo, which does leave it open for an attack of opportunity.
By both of us, I would assume.
By both of you, yeah. As it races outside.
Cool, so I'm gonna take out my crossbow and just shoot it in the back of the head.
You're going to take out your crossbow. Rami is also going to try and get another swipe because his staff is still magically activated. Oh shit! And he hit a nat 20 on that advantage roll.
Rami's not messing around, guys.
Yeah, Rami is
Rami's a changed man.
Yeah, listen, everyone's had their moment in this campaign so far that's kind of been an emotional turning point for them, I should say. Rami's is kind of in the middle of it. As the wraith tries to sneak past the both of you. Mateo, did your bolts hit with your crossbow?
14 to hit.
That hits.
Cool.
Yeah, you guys do a double whammy on him. Do me a favor and roll damage on that, and then I need to figure out, because Rami hit a nat 20 on that attack, it's gonna do some harm to this thing.
Well, I did 9 damage.
Okay. And Rami is going to do Let's see, that's 1d6 plus 3 times 2 plus 1d4. Oh my god. That's a 6 plus 3, that's a 9, plus 1 is a 10, times 2 is 20.
This thing's grandfather just felt it. Like it not only took out this thing, it took out its ancestors too.
This idiot thought he could just breeze past the both of us.
Yep. Yeah, the specter attempts to race past the two of you in an effort to disengage from a fight it maybe knew it wasn't going to win, and as it tries to breeze past the two of you, Rami is able to take his blessed staff with the power of the harvest god flowing through it and catches it on top of its ethereal skull. It is stunned and stumbles in its forward momentum, giving you, Mateo, the opportunity to land a slick bolt right between its shoulder blades as it cries and stumbles out into the daylight, and you can see its shadowy form starting to smoke in a way that is distinct from the sticky, shadowy substance that makes up its spectral form. It seems as though the daylight and the damage it's taken is starting to burn away its form rather quickly at this point. But with it stumbled out in front of the fallen herald, with a desperate cry, it is going to use Create Spectre.
Did Harold just become a ghost?
The wraith targets a humanoid within 10 feet of it that has been dead for no longer than 1 minute and died violently. The target's spirit rises as a specter in the space of its corpse or in the nearest unoccupied space. The specter is under the wraith's control. The wraith can have no more than 7 specters under its control at one time.
And we thought we were gonna have to say goodbye to Harold.
Say hello to the new herald.
The reanimated herald forms its own sticky, shadowy self over top the fallen body of this cultist and separates from it like a skin being peeled off as it stands suspended over Harold's fallen form and takes its place aside the very, very weak wraith and stares blankly outwards. Smudge is staring this thing down, unaffected, because Smudge is a sociopath.
God, you've got to be kidding me.
Not useless even in death. There is purpose to be found through our community. Do you not see, my children? Even in death, the god of shadow carries you.
Are they both just, like, actively burning, like, in the sunlight out there?
Yeah, neither are doing well in the sunlight, but, I mean, this was this guy's move, and this guy is forced to reconstitute the specter directly over top of where the guy died.
Mm-hmm.
So these guys are now hanging out here. Technically, it is goon number 3's turn. It is Hubert's turn. He's having a time of it. He's able to stare through the temple to see the corpse of his fallen companion be reanimated into this sickly, ghostly form. And he stumbles forward into the light, trying to get closer to Mother Umberta, where she is at in the sunlight. He says, I promise, I'm not going to fail you again. Mother, please. And he's looking at the dead cultist reanimated. He says, I live my life in service to our god of shadows and to you, Mother. And with that being said, I cannot allow you or anyone else here to fall victim to these ne'er-do-wells who have invaded our camp. We must retreat, Mother. To which the god of shadows says, Oh, cowards, all of them. You've raised a cult of
words, Umberto. Excellent work. This is exactly what I was looking for when I first reached out to your ancestors, Just bang up job on this.
Umberto looks back at Hubert and says, "Get the cart, and then we can go." He looks back outside, hesitant before nodding slowly and retreating back into the shadows.
I feel as though Smudge looked over at him and made eye contact, and then went back to eating grass, nuzzling the dead body of Harold for apps, for tweets, for some good munches.
Yeah, Smudge definitely stared back at this guy as he was looking outside, made frightening, unblinking eye contact. And guess who's next in the turn order?
Don't tell me the horse is next.
You know the horse is next. You know Smudge is up next, and Smudge is going to use hooves against the specter in front of it. Because what the hell? This horse was minding his own business, and then suddenly the guy he was trying to eat, sheds a ghost.
It's startling.
Yeah, listen, Smudge doesn't take well to being spooked, and so she is going to use hooves against the specter. God, it's just I don't know that specter has HP.
It's not just the same as the Wraith, it's just its own thing.
Well, it doesn't have any other data, so I'm going to treat it as an extension of the Wraith. Which means Smudge will have to beat its AC with a 19.
God, this horse is lethal.
Smudge rears back on its hind legs and is going to use hooves, use its violent feet, bring it right down onto this specter that's just risen above this dead body. It is going to take its full body weight down on top of it to quash this ghost. And it's going to inflict 2d4 plus 2 bludgeoning damage. And I mean that's a 1 and that's a 3. This specter is gone.
Snuffed out.
As quickly as it was summoned in a last-ditch effort by this fading wraith, Smudge brings down 2 heavy, inky black hooves to cut through its spectral form and destroys it entirely, wiping it from this plane of existence. As the wraith looks at it in horror.
Wow.
Mateo watches this happen, and he's just like, Mamori, I think the name you gave the horse was more of just an omen of what was to happen.
Did something happen?
Oh, he's made a smudge out of a ghost somehow.
Oh. Well, I mean, good job, Smudge. Greer's making horse noises. This is the best part of this session. Who here has dealt as much damage as Smudge has? This
Rami.
whole fight.
It's between Rami and the horse, I think.
Perhaps.
Good.
Hey, horse. Horse, do you need a god? I'll bless you straight out. You don't even have to worship me. You're a horse, but that was metal. Would you like some shadow blessings? Horse, come here.
Stop talking to the horse.
This umbrella, shut up. No one's buying what you're selling.
Mateo, it's your turn.
Okay, wait a second. Can I see the umbrella from here?
Yeah, they are both illuminated.
Yeah, okay. Oh, excellent. Okay, you're in range. Hello. Mateo turns away he's fed up with this umbrella.
Yeah.
Forget this umbrella. He's gonna cast Ray of Frost at that umbrella. Just like, can someone get this umbrella to shut up? And points at it. And a frigid beam of blue-white light strikes toward the creature. Okay. That is a 21 to hit. What's the AC on this umbrella?
So, like, I didn't give the umbrella AC. It was its own object until Umberta, like, picked it up from the altar.
Mm-hmm. So should that be, like, against Umberta since she's holding it? Technically?
I want to say yes.
Okay, so 21.
Give me one sec. 21 doesn't hit.
What is she made out of?
It's a spite, mostly. Yeah, that 21 does not beat her AC. Mateo, your Ray of Frost aims for the parasol in her hand, and she stares down that Ray of Frost and sidesteps it with a wild amount of confidence for someone who's really seems to not have earned it in this encounter. She squints her eyes at you through her veil. Perhaps if your patron was quite as generous as ours, she says, kind of through gritted teeth, perhaps then your mastery of magic would be more impressive than what it is, which I would say, based on what I've seen, is little more than some well-placed snowfall.
Lady, I don't have a patron.
Yeah, stop talking crap about Mateo. Everybody saw that big spell you oofed earlier. Nobody made fun of you for that.
You've been making fun of me this whole time, child.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I made fun of her.
Oh. Well, Mateo's done more than you have this whole time. So, bleh.
Maybe you should have invested in the god of dance, because you've just been dancing around this whole time.
Ha!
Seething fury. Umori, you're up.
I mean, what do I even have to do at this point? Like, okay, I'm
It's
still in
her.
the shadows. Oh yeah. Let's pull out Nugget. Let's try this again.
Mm.
Do. Okay, no more 4s. We're done with that. That's a 10 plus. Shoot. 2 dexterity. That's a 12. It's a hot 12. Grace.
Does not hit a 12.
How are we supposed to hit her?
Does it hit anyone else in my vicinity though? Be honest. That other guy. Did he leave to go help Harold?
Oh, that's such a good question. Yeah, Umberta is unharmed. Your meteor hammer does not manage to catch her from her position, but as Nugget cuts through the light and the darkness, you can feel it make contact with a form. It cries out in pain and stumbles into the sunlight as you see Hubert just chucked forward with the weight of your metal-headed meteor hammer. What is Nugget's metal head damage? I'm going to go with a call of 4 Nugget's metal head. We're going to roll 2d6 plus 3, I think.
Okay.
Because this is the lethal head, and Nugget hurts.
Yeah, it do, don't it?
And I mean, you do 2d6. You do 11
5?
plus 5.
Oh shoot! Okay. 5 plus 6 plus 3, which for everybody in the back, that's a 14.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Hubert. Hey, Mamori, were you doing this non-lethally?
What was your intent with Umberta?
Yeah.
Well, Mamori was gonna hit Umberta hard, but like it was on the backswing. You know, I feel like she was just spinning. It was a hard hit. Let's just say it was a hard hit. Like, yeah. It's okay. We have like a billion healers now in the party. I'm gonna call it a lethal swing. I mean, I didn't specify, but I feel like I would have to specify now.
No, sure. Yeah, with that,
I'm just playing
So
in my
that was
character.
a 14.
Yeah.
So he is now minus 10 HP.
Uh.
As your meteor hammer cuts through, Umberta manages to duck out of the way. And as it cuts through, you feel it make contact with something in the darkness as poor Hubert the cultist is caught with the business end of Nugget and is violently dragged through into the sunlight and crashes in and amongst some of these wrecked benches and is unmoving.
Hey, guy? Are good? Guys?
Umberta is staring at Hubert's crumpled form, still amongst the wreckage. And you can see the barest hint of a reach forward before pulling her hand back and shaking her head.
Momori's still in complete darkness. I feel like she doesn't see any of this. She is in magical darkness right now.
Yeah, you're in darkness. Umberta is not, and it is her turn. And she's still. She has been running around this temple this whole time, running her mouth, trying to talk a big game, but upon seeing her underling thrown with such force, she takes stock of the situation around her. She's quiet, but you can hear the grip on the parasol tighten. Phantas, our deal is simple. We worship you, and in turn you give us strength. So you'd better pay up right now. Get me out of here. He's like, you gotta be kidding me. As she starts to conjure a dark, inky, black spell through her hands.
Would this be considered moving away from me, Grace?
No, she's staying in place as she casts Misty Step on herself. Can I please see a description? No, that's not what I wanted to see. I want to see what Misty Step does, because I'm pretty sure
You can
it
move
is...
30 feet away to a point that you can see.
That's it?
It's just supposed to be like a little blip. It's not like a, get me out of here. Well, I guess if she can see outside.
She can see outside the window.
She teleports to the roof.
Yep. Phantas, get me out of here. As she casts a Misty Step and blinks from her position in front of this window and is now outside. Well, I don't know that you all know where she went, but she is certainly not inside the temple anymore.
If you look out the window, you just see
Nobody
her
knows
out
where she
there.
Yeah, fair point. Where did she go, Grace? Like,
Sildra knows where she
map.
is.
Yeah, Sildra.
Yep.
She blipped 30 feet outside.
Where'd she go?
outside.
Oh, okay. It's not that impressive. I'm right next to the door. I could do that too.
Momori spins in the dark.
Oh my god. And we are back to Ralph, who is outside, who is one up, one down. His head priest has run off with his god. His friend is dead, revived, and dead again.
Dead again. Killed by horse.
Another ally fallen inside the ruins of this temple. He rolls a 10. Is that a save?
That's a good.
Okay,
I think.
he's got 2 goods. He's rallying. We'll see what happens to him, but he's trying in all of this, whether or not he's aware of what's going on. Death doesn't have him yet.
Yeah, you know what? That's all of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can all relate to, what is his name?
Ralph.
Ralph's struggle. Yeah. Yeah. We're trying our best before death gets us, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Sildra, it's your turn. Sildra still fully knows where Lady Umberta is, or Mother Umberta is at any given time in this combat. Sildra, you know for a fact that she is outside of the temple, but still relatively, nearby. And it is your turn.
Is the window open?
The one in the back is barred only by a fabric curtain. Nothing is boarded up in this temple.
Gotcha. In that case, they are going to go over to this one and prepare to jump through it.
Aha! And that's your move?
And that's my move. I am going to cast Firebolt on her.
Just through the window casually.
It's through the window. Like they'll sort of move the curtains out of the way just so they don't catch on fire, and then they'll cast it. Digital dice say 17 to hit.
You know, when I built this character,
Mm-hmm.
it was with the idea that she would be so much more like scary and intimidating. 17 does not hit her AC.
What?
Gotcha.
Through all of this, you've been rolling well. You're just not hitting her. She's a slippery little eel of a woman. And Sildra, you scramble over to the window and hurl your fireball in her direction, and she manages to sidestep it. I'd say the fireball catches the tip of her very tall hat and carries it off of her head into the woods beyond. She looks up, pats at her head, but the hat and veil combo is now flown off, and you can see the tricky business I'm having with this character is that I don't know what her face looks like. So we're all going to imagine a different face, each one of us,
Sure.
and then whoever's going to be the first to draw her will be the right one, because I've drawn
So Margaret.
I've drawn this person 6 different ways now, and every time I'm like, that's not right. But this indescribable woman stares back at you with kind of wide eyes as your fireball almost hits, but she remains unscathed. Parasol in hand and brooch still securely fastened to chest. Up next is going to be Rami. He sees you, Sildra, dart into the shadows. He's like, what's going on out there? Is she still out?
She's still out there. Not too far away, but you might want to start legging it.
There's still this guy out here.
There sure is. And I think Rami sees that, and he's like, well, in the meantime, is going to go ahead and deal with the remains of this wraith. Rami's been gaining so much worldly experience in this combat. I'm very proud of him. He's going to be so
Traumatized?
talented at the end of this. Maybe, who's to say? He did cast Divine Favor on himself, which grants him an extra 1d4 radiant damage on a physical attack. So I think he is just going to do a fun little bash this wraith upside the head with his quarterstaff. Well, that's a 19.
Oh, so plus
So
5?
So that's a fun chunky 24.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 24 is gonna beat your AC pretty handily. Rami bull rushes the quickly fading remains of this dark, shadowy creature that is so captivated by what Smudge just pulled by stamping out one of its creations without flinching, caught by the horrors of this dark beast in front of them. It is unprepared as Rami comes up from behind and strikes it over top with his quarterstaff, imbued with the powers of the god of harvest. And that is going to hurt how much? That's 7. With that attack, as Rami rushes behind the fading remains of this ghoulish specter, he brings his glowing quarterstaff cleanly through the remains of this foul fiend as the holy light cuts through its shadowy form and burns it away from the inside, dispelling the thing entirely.
Nice, there you go.
Smudge rears back a little bit as this occurs in front of them. And Rami is breathing kind of hard, has to shake his head as he makes eye contact with the horse. He's like, oh, goes to kind of like calm her down as Smudge gives a sagely nod of the head and lips at his palm over the scorching remains of where the specter was. Calls over his shoulder, he says, "That's gotta be the last of them, right? I think we're good on the ghosts and ghouls here."
We are.
Unless she has some more hiding.
Could have been a few under that hat.
It is now... Oh man. It's the goon's turn, who's currently rolling death saves inside of the temple. I believe Hubert is his name. We're just gonna see how Hubert's doing in all of this. Hubert's not doing too good, guys. So that is one fail on Hubert, as he struggles from his place on the floor. He's not rallying.
Oh, jeez. Poor Hubert.
Jesus. And next up in the order is Smudge. I'll be honest, I think Smudge is, impressed at the dispelling of the beast in front of it, the wraith.
Smudge is doing good, Grace.
Smudge is, but Smudge has advanced. On account of Smudge being a horse and me being in charge of this game, I do like to give Smudge a little bit of advanced movement where I can.
Oh my god, it's going!
He's going on the offensive now.
The only thing scarier than a horse that kills people is a horse that's not afraid to kill a god.
Excellent.
Now that the monster in front of it has been summarily dealt with, Smudge sets her sights on Mother Umberta, who's trying to flee the scene. But this horse now has a taste for violence and bloodshed.
What the fuck?
And is going to charge after her.
Oh my god.
He moves so fast.
Smudge is now staring down at Mother Umberta, who's kind of like taken a step back as she sees this horse charging at her very quickly as Smudge goes to... she's only got the one attack. She's only got hooves. And she's going to use those hooves on Mother Umberta. And it's not gonna hit. The horse is a horse.
Like, how's the horse gonna have better aim than we do at this point?
It's an excellent question, but Mother Umberta is now freaked out as she grips the parasol to her chest, and the God of Shadows starts cackling.
Humans are all well and good. As far as followers go, Umberta, you and your cronies have fed me well, but thinking it's time for maybe we see other people,
Mantis is trying to get this horse out.
Umberta is looking horrified down at the parasol and back at Smudge, who, ears pressed back, nostrils flaring, kicking out the ground, looks ready for a fight as the parasol starts giving off an inky black cloud. Umberta shakes and lets go of the parasol. It falls to the ground as it starts vibrating ominously. The dark cloud starts to pool under Smudge's shadow in the midday sun.
Like I said, I'm gonna be dead one way or another in the next 10, 15 years at this rate with you and your funny little gang of wannabe magic users. If I'm gonna go out, I might as well go out with at least one actually interesting follower of mine, I would think.
The pooling shadows start traveling up from Smudge's hooves and start blending into her inky black fur as she starts kicking her feet and throwing her head wildly back and forth, with Vantis laughing the whole time as this dark magic consumes this horse, and she is plunged into the ground.
What?
Into the dark cloud beneath her.
I just kidnap our horse? That's our murder horse!
None of us saw this happen.
No, none of you did. Sildra might have.
Sildra is looking through the window and sees all this shit happening.
Sildra is witnessing horrors.
Horse horrors.
Horsers.
Umberta is stunned silent. The pin on her chest shivers and flakes off. And as she looks down at the ground and goes to scoop it up, another invisible force picks it up before her. A form rises out from the dark cloud beneath. A shapeless, indescribable form steps forward, glittering brooch in mouth. As a voice speaks out from the darkness.
I'm still hungry.
And Berta leaves. She is gone. She leaves the parasol. She leaves this space. She leaves. She is running away into the woods as the mass of shadows and shade starts to form more solidly into a vague horse shape.
No! This did not just eat our horse. I put that horse.
Or did it just give the horse more agency for bloodlust?
Sildra, from your vantage point at the windows, you're watching this unfold as the being that once looked like Smudge turns its face towards you and you make frightening eye contact with two glowing red eyes in a vast shape of darkness.
They slowly slide down until they're out of view from the window.
Beautiful. I mean, everyone knows, right? If you can't see them, they can't see you.
Mm-hmm.
Okie dokie. It's my turn now, right?
It is. We're not out of combatable forces, but all that remains in this space are two almost dead people.
Cool. I mean, I'm still functioning from a point. I don't know what happened to that woman.
It's true.
So
it's true.
I'm gonna cunning action dash, so I can use dash as a bonus action because I'm a little slippery boy. Gonna go all the way over here to the other side of the building, rounding the corner to, like, following where Smudge left. I'm just like trying to follow the horse. And what do I see when I look over here and I see this horse?
You see kind of hard to make out exactly what you're seeing in the form of this strange, hard to look at void in the space of the world. But it seems to be facing towards the temple as you approach, and that form shifts itself to be looking directly at you. It does not turn, but the darkness reconstitutes itself in a direction more facing you, as you see two glowing red eyes and a shiny brass brooch floating in the void. You also see the parasol left by Mother Umberta, who seems to have run off. She is no longer within eyesight. There is simply darkness and a parasol in a space where a horse might have been once.
Can I do like a religion check
Sure.
to comprehend what the fuck I'm looking at? Okay, that was a 7 with my +4.
On a 7, it seems like Vantus, the god of shadows, has a new follower.
Good horse.
Mateo, is everything all right with Smudge over there? What's going on?
What? They've got Smudge?
The horse is like a shadow thing now. The lady's gone, but Mamori, it has your brooch, so that's good, I guess.
They Smudge and they have my brooch.
I don't know if they
flying
took
out of
Smudge. It's hard to tell if this is a consensual thing that happened over here.
Mamori comes flying out of the temple. Oh wait, you can't just take our horse.
I will say, y'all are free to move outside of combat at this point.
Sildra's staying where they are.
Mamori 100% runs up to whatever this is happening. Hey, you can't just take our horse!
Bright red eyes crack onto you, Momori.
Ah!
The shadow beast steps forward.
Try being nice to it.
Be nice. It's you. Mori backs away, kind of falls.
Staring down at you, the brooch falls at your feet.
Mori like looks up, slightly terrified, but upon seeing the brooch, she like grabs it really quick and shoves it back into her bag. Where's our horse?
I do.
All right. What?
I think the horse is possessed.
I don't know what I'm looking at right now, but I'm freaked the frick out. Mori pulls away towards Mateo. God. Mateo, you're like half magic thing, right? Like we can take care of this. We're not taking care of this. Can we
We
We're
need the
gonna
horse, though. Momori, what are we gonna do with all our shit? We need the horse.
I know. Whatever, just this thing that I'm looking at is not our horse. That can't be possible. Oh, I know. Momori throws her hand at the umbrella. We just need to kill the umbrella, and then we'll be good.
I don't know if it's in the umbrella anymore. Can I check the umbrella?
Sure.
Does my hand axe hit, Grace? I rolled a 12 plus Dex 2. That's 14.
You loose your hand axe, and it flies
Purdue.
directly towards and through the shadow beast in front of you.
Oh my god. Ah!
Sorry. We need the horse. Stop. What are you doing?
Momori half crawls, half runs behind you, Mateo. just, it's time to go. It's time to go.
Okay.
We gotta
I mean,
we gotta get out of here.
It hasn't tried to kill any of us yet.
Fantastic. So, are we just gonna wait around till it does?
I mean, unless you want to lose all your stuff, yeah.
Forget about the stuff, okay? Just forget about it.
We've
I don't know what that is, but it's not gonna get any of you. Oh my god! Momori pulls out Nugget.
Momori, stop. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna go get an
Momori is
apple
breathing
from
heavily.
the cart and try and feed that to this thing.
That's fine. As y'all are trying to figure that out, Rami's kind of looking from around a corner at what's happening over there, and he's been a little bit, he was able to pull himself together for the back end of this fight, and at seeing the spectral horse in front of him, he goes a little bit pale, he goes a little bit shaky. He says, "So Smudge has been God touched now. That's God touched horse. Cool. This is she's probably still in there somewhere, when when animals become blessed by gods, it's probably cool.
How do we undo it? How do we undo it?
You don't just undo a god's blessing on an animal.
Mori grabs Rami's shoulders. You have to be able to undo it.
Momori, here, make friends with it. Here, have the apple.
Are you handing that to Momori?
Yes.
Oh. Momori looks at it
Sniffs.
and then screams and drops it.
It's an apple.
It's coming. Momori hides behind
Okay,
Rami.
but Mateo picks the apple up off the ground and gives it to the horse. What happens?
Mateo, as you hold out the apple to the void formerly known as Smudge, the space in front of the glowing red eyes starts to take a more solid form. And you see a dusky, dark muzzle start to sniff and lip at your palm as the apple is bitten in half and disappears into the ink void. And as it does so, there is a ripple that runs through the dark void as the rest of the smoke settles into a much more solid, familiar shape similar, but not the same as what it once was. Upon eating your gifted apple, the void formerly known as Smudge fully takes form into a more horse-like shape.
Ah, shit, that was an offering, wasn't it? Ah, whatever. Mateo pets the horse.
Oh my goodness. Leans into your hand as the bright red eyes are trained on you for a moment as Smudge pulls back and says,
The God of Shadows has unleashed my full potential. A gift to me. A gift for all of you.
I don't like that it's talking. I really don't like it.
You four who would bring me from that quiet village into a world unknown. You feed me beautiful fruits. Introduce me to the taste of death.
God!
I serve no god, and I serve no man. But for now, I am content to travel alongside such noble warriors as yourselves.
See, Mamori, it's totally cool now.
Mamori is like actively vibrating. She's hiding behind Rami. She's hands on shoulders, ducking behind him, and actively vibrating.
yeah, I mean, Rami is also vibrating at this as well. He's equally freaked out at Demon Horse. She gives one last sort of sniff at your hair, Mateo, as she very quietly walks over to you. And as she steps, her hooves make no sound. The ground shows no sign of give underneath her great weight. She passes over silently and weightlessly on slightly transparent hooves. It's as though the darkness of her body tapers and fades out at the edges of her extremities. Her once long silky mane is now a billowing cloud of shadows. She gives a sniff in your direction. She says,
The warrior from a distant land with a brave heart.
Nope, nope, nope! I need this! I don't need any of this! Mamori runs off into the woods.
She patted my nose and fed me an apple. She has my undying loyalty.
No! This is not how Mamori gets over her god trauma. This is not how Mamori gets over her god trauma.
And you, servant of the god of harvest, I can smell that green magic on you, verdant and alive.
and Rami is equally being stared down by this massive spectral beast. Sniffs at his pockets. Says,
I will not take any offerings that are not freely given.
and he goes into his pockets and finds a bag full of shelled nuts and holds it out and happily eats those up as well.
Guys, we are so cool. We have a ghost horse.
As all of this is going on, the two unconscious cultists, they will live, according to these
Thank
dice
God.
rolls. But they are still unconscious. They're alive.
We've only killed one person, guys. Stay cool.
It's just Smudge. Smudge killed that guy.
I would kill any who attempt to pose a threat to that which I consider mine.
Smudge is just going to glide over to the crumpled forms of her victims.
Oh, jeez.
A sad fate for those who follow the god of shadows, but he deserves stronger acolytes than these.
Turns back to your party.
You need not worship the god of shadows. He is a dying god, and in time will fade from this world. But while I stand, you shall have the power of shadows on your side, provided you find those same sweet, crisp apples that you travel with.
Well, Rami, can you walk up the horse to the cart, please? I would very much like to leave this place.
Sure. And Rami goes to approach Smudge, and she says, "That won't be necessary." As from her dark mist, a new set of horse gear manifests onto her dark body and magically cinches itself to your cart.
We have some place to be, do we not? I can smell it on you, the stench of a rotting magic. We were sent here by those ageless ones to do a job. We ride.
How are you guys processing all of this? Sildro, you've been you've witnessed some things. What are you thinking of right now?
Sildra is compartmentalizing so hard right now. Uh,
Dissociating.
they're taking all of this information and they're putting it in a box and they're storing it away for a rainy day, which will probably be in like 5 years or maybe 5 days. Who knows? But yeah, they are somewhat staring out into the middle distance. But they will get into the car.
They do get into the cart. That's perfect.
They're like, okay, this is just my life now. We have a demon horse.
Rami was going to hitch up Smudge, and seeing her take care of the situation herself, he does one last glancing check over the couple of goons who are left behind. He winces. I don't want to feel bad for them. I'm sure they'll be okay. But just in case. And he passes like a gentle hand quickly over the back of one of their heads as the goon out front is healed, still unconscious, but he'll be okay. And he's like, just give me I'll be right there, as he runs inside to do the same with the other unconscious individual inside.
I guess they won't die of exposure overnight now.
What time of day is it, by the way? It's like we've been fighting for so long in real life. I forget what time of day it was when we started.
It was like high noon for dramatic shadowy effect. It is now like 1:30.
Uh-huh.
This entire encounter has taken an hour? And
I
most
would
of my life.
I'd say so.
Honestly, probably.
Yeah.
Rami comes back after making sure the two individuals will be okay, glances down at the thoroughly dead one, and just very quickly just moves to the cart, not dwelling on it. He can't dwell on this right now.
Yeah, Mateo's also pointedly not looking at that.
Let's just go find Momori. Smudge, do you wanna... And she just starts pulling the carriage, seemingly knowing where to go, as she leads you out of this clearing and back to the main road that you had detoured off of so long ago.
Momori's still gone, by the way. She's like actively gone. I guess passively gone is fine too, but she is not there. She's running through the woods.
Momori, where are you going?
I don't know, Grace. Momori is just heading in the direction of wherever the heck is away from this magic horse.
Momori, you bolt from this scene. You leave behind your companions. You leave behind the temple to the god of shadows and the former horse that was given to you and has been transformed into this dark beast. As you run off into these woods, make a constitution saving throw for me, Momori.
Oh no, shoot. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, that's a 20. Bam!
She was never seen again.
That was a nat 20?
Yeah, no, I just rolled. This never given me a 20 before, I don't think. So that's a net 20.
Excellent.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of adrenaline happening here, and nothing can be here than our freaking our murder horse becoming sentient, Grace. Everything else takes second place to that.
Mamori, on a 20, this battle has been long. It's been a long couple of days for you specifically.
Sure has.
And seeing a once gentle beast be transformed by the power of a god that only moments before was being used to threaten you and your friends, it activated something in you that, despite the wear on your body and despite the creeping feeling in your chest of another wheezing sandy attack readying itself to take you out, the rest of your body forces that down with the primal need to get away from the situation. And you run. And you keep running. And eventually you find your way back to the road that you guys were traveling down. The shadows are moving the way they're supposed to. And it's quiet. And it's open. You take a deep, satisfying lungful of air as you're able to catch your breath for the first time in what seems like a long time without any sort of latent pain or irritation.
Momori hits the road and looks around and falls to her knees and starts to sob.
Story Hoard is produced by Grace, Maddie, Margaret, and Kev. Our theme song was written and composed by Vocal Outburst. Follow for updates and artwork on Twitter and Tumblr at StoryHoardPod, or visit our website at storyhoard.card.co. You can find all these links and more in the description of this episode.
All right. We all have roll 20 up. Do we all have water, snack, any need to last minute to go pee or anything?
I'll definitely let you if I need to go pee. I'll just scream and run away. Then you guys just won't hear me anymore for a minute.
Well, if you do end up screaming, I'm just going to assume that's what it's for. So try not to get into like any actual trouble, because I'll be like, yeah, Maddie said she's gonna go pee, so that's clearly what that noise is.
I'm just being like murdered by a serial killer, abducted by aliens in my own home.
Oh, she really had to go, huh?
Grace is like, yeah, this is the bathroom noise. Just like,
The agreed upon pee noise.
Ugh.